Hello there, how are you? It's Sunday night. It's the 24th of May. That would be Empire Day in the old days. I don't know if it still is. I'm not quite sure what I'd think about it being Empire Day, to be honest, but certainly in the old days, I'm reliably informed today would have been Empire Day. So, happy Empires. I like the biscuits. There's something about an Empire biscuit, isn't there? Two round bits of almost like shortbread. I think jam in between, icing on top, and a glassy cherry on top of that. Used to get them in the city bakeries in Glasgow. Don't know whether you get them down here in the borders. I think you possibly do. If you do, maybe let me know. So Empire Day takes the biscuit. Oh, crunch, 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 crunch. What's your favourite biscuit? What is your favourite biscuit? Do you like a Viscount? Do you like a Tracker? Do you like a wagon wheel? Everyone just moans about wagon wheels now because they're so much smaller than they used to be. I like a Rocky. You don't get those very often. I do like a McVitie's chocolate digestive. And I like some of those fancy ones you get from Marks and Spencer's. A friend brings me those sometimes, and I do like those. They're rather good. I like sort of Florentinas, sort of little chocolate cupcakes full of nuts and glassy cherries. Oh yeah, they're the business. Well, they're not the business, they're the biscuits. So what type of biscuits do you like? Do you remember Gypsy Creams? Oh yeah, they were really good. And then I like these new round ones, very chocolatey. They sell them in all sorts of supermarkets, and they used to be made by Foxes a long time ago. Anyhow, what am I rabbiting on about? Is that what BOBCAST's about? Rabbit? Yeah, well, it could be a rabbit. It's been quite a day, hasn't it? Well, I was going to go for a drive, but decided not to. It was interesting. I was thinking what songs will I play today? And Night and Day. No, I wouldn't. It's a great song, the lovely lyrics. Then I thought, well, Roger Whittaker only left Durham town once, didn't he? I'm gonna leave old Durham. No. I'm not being political. I'm just talking about music, comings and goings. And I'm talking about music. Good old Roger Whittaker. He was good, actually. I used to play him on my show quite a long time ago. I haven't played any for a bit. Maybe when and if the Bob King Show gets back again on a Wednesday evening on the internet and on hospital radio and on TD1, then maybe I will play it. Okay. Was I going to tell you a joke? Yes, I was. I was going to tell you a joke about a blunt pencil, but to be honest, I just didn't see the point. Now this is a funny one. This made me smile a bit. What's the most sarcastic body of water on Earth? What's the most sarcastic body of water on Earth? Yep, you've got it. The Crimea River. Ooh, interesting. I want to say thank you to all the comments I've had about the last couple of days' Bobcasts. People have really enjoyed them. The poem yesterday went down really very well indeed, and people have asked for copies of it. It was a great poem, and I've got some more. I'm not going to use them tonight, but I've got some more coming from a similar source. So that's good. I started speaking in French. Très bien. Écoutez, remember? And that started a whole sort of French theme. And out of that, I wrote to some friends of mine on the Francais, people who live in France. Well, they don't actually live in France. They're staying in France at the moment. They don't want to be. They're world beaters, really. So this is a family called the Campbells, doing Tweed to Tokyo. You can follow them on Instagram and on Facebook. And they were meant to be going overland to the Olympic Games. But sadly, they got caught up in lockdown. And cheers. Oh, a wee tartan mug. Oh, hello, a wee tartan mug. Who you calling a mug? Aye, okay. So the Campbells got caught up in lockdown, and they're stuck. I think near Grenoble. I'm not sure where they are. Somewhere en français, anyway. So I popped them a messenger today and said, "Would you like to do some jokes for me? Because there's hundreds of kids and there's 2 adults and There's Lucy and Magnus and Sophia and Sophie and Aurora, and Mum and Dad, Harriet and Ben. Ben did a bit of work with BT. I was hoping he might come and fix my phone lines, but he disappeared off instead. So they did, and they thought, well, what could they do? They said this: there was a family called Campbell planned for years to do a round-the-world travel, but the virus that came put an end to the game, and now they all live in Grenoble. That's not bad. They made that up. Made that up on a walk. The Campbells came up with a plan to go overland to Japan. They're now stuck in France, so they won't get the chance to even go to Kazakhstan. Don't know where that is. I imagine it's in Russia, but I might be wrong on that. That's something I'd like to do. You know the Trans-Siberian Railway? Oh yes, that would be good. The Silk Road. I like a bit of silk. Oh, I do like a bit of silk. Actually, talking of silk, I was thinking about synthetic silk not very long ago, and I remembered a book that I read as a child called The Family from One End Street. The Family from One End Street. And all I can remember is the lady was called Mrs. Ruggles, and she took in washing and ironing, and her daughter Lily tried to help her doing some ironing and iron some synthetic silk, and it all collapsed. So I got excited about that, and I sent away for the book. The book's come, and I'm going to read it. So that's a thought for you, isn't it? What books do you remember from your childhood? Swallows and Amazons, I remember. Roger and Titty and Susan and John, the captain. That was good. I really liked Swallows and Amazons. Often thought, actually, if I did Mastermind, which is very, 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 very unlikely, if I did Mastermind, then the books of Swallows and Amazons would probably be my specialist subjects. Swallowdale and the Picts and the Martyrs, and We Didn't Mean to Go to Sea, and Missy Lee, and Winter Holiday, Great Northern. I've got them all here, all beautifully bound. Lovely. So, right, now those, I've got another limerick here. There once was a family of Campbells whose plans became a big shambles. They're now stuck in France, so they've only one chance. Is a short but occasional ramble. Yeah, like that. Yeah, that'll do. One of the jokes they sent me was just had a furloughed airline pilot around painting the house since he's got nothing to do. I must say he made a cracking job of the landing. Yeah, very good. Very good indeed. Right, shall we have some poetry? As I said, I've got some from from yesterday's source, but I've also got another one in here from Paul. It's called History Will Remember, and I thought this might be fitting. It's from the Oxnam Facebook page. This might be fitting with all the comings and goings that have been going on today, or not going on today. History will remember when the world stopped, and the flight stayed on the ground, and the cars parked in the street, and the trains didn't run. History will remember when the schools closed, and the children stayed indoors, and medical staff walked towards the fire, and they didn't run. History will remember when the people sang on their balconies in isolation, on their balconies in isolation, but so very much together in courage and song. History will remember when the people fought for their old and their weak, protected the vulnerable by doing nothing at all. History will remember when the virus left, and the houses opened and the people came out and hugged and kissed and started again, kinder than before. I hope history does remember that. And thank you for that. That was Dana Ashworth. Hot news from the hospital. My colonoscopy has been postponed. They said there's a massive backlog. That's a joke, by the way, just in case you're wondering. Just in case you're thinking, gosh, that's going to have to be a brave camera. Fortunately, I don't have to have one of those. So today's been Sunday. And I don't know about you, but I've always found Sunday quite a difficult day. Well, not always, just since lockdown, because Sunday's usually a working day. and it can be quite long, and I always feel as if I should be doing more. Once again, I've been really impressed by some of the worship that I have seen on the internet. There's some very, very good stuff, some deep thinking stuff as well. You know, glory and grace and all those words, glory meaning bleeding, just some really powerful stuff, and some real stuff, meaty stuff to get our heads around in today's readings. You know, this Sunday after Ascension, you know, when Jesus went up to start working from home, as somebody said. But it's such a, you know, such a powerful time, and I feel sorry for the disciples. They lost him again. You know, died, came back, and now he's gone again. So some meaty things for us to think about, and I think it fits in quite nicely with lockdown, because you know there's ups and downs, isn't there? We saw that in the poem yesterday. There's a lot of ups and downs, difficult moments. One day you feel this, the next day you feel that, and so I find Sundays difficult, and they drag by the time the evening comes. You're thinking, oh gosh, where are we now? And then Fiona Bruce comes on the Antiques Roadshow and everything's better. You know, and you think, oh, I'll go and have a little look in the attic, see what I can find. But there's been some good worship, and I have to say, we've had our highest ever hits on our worship that we put on the St Andrew's website. It'll be there until Friday or Saturday of next week. Thank you to all the people who've come on, and lots of really powerful and lovely comments about that. So thank you very much indeed. It's always good when you see that, and you know, when you comment, it's so nice. It makes it all worthwhile. And some nice comments about BOBCAST as well floating around. Got a voice text, so thank you for that. I really appreciate it. So there's a lot to think about. We start another week, and I'm going to take the funeral on Thursday of somebody I worked with 40 years ago. And, you know, just talking with his wife and family, you soon start thinking of the memories that you share. And, you know, we had some very good times together, some really good times, but I haven't kept up with each other. I just wish I had. So maybe that's something else for us to do. We keep saying it, phone a friend. Yep, phone a friend, ask the audience, do whatever you like. Anyhow, why don't you ever see elephants hiding in trees? That's a question I've often asked myself. The reason is because they're really good at it. They're very good at doing hiding. Absolutely excellent. So there we are. There we are. So Sunday night, beginning of the new week, and I pray that you will find some peace this week, that you'll be okay this week. It's going to be hot. Remember to put sun cream on. And that you'll find the warmth of God shining upon you. That love, that warmth, that care. Even in the dark times, the sun will come out. And that warmth of love will enfold you, will wrap God's arms around you and take you to drink from the water of the spring of life. So watch thou, dear Lord, with those who wake or watch or weep tonight, and give your angels charge over those who sleep. Tend your sick ones, Lord Christ. Rest your weary ones. Bless your dying ones. Soothe your suffering ones. And pity your afflicted ones. Shield your joyous ones. And all for your love's sake. May God bless you this day, this week, this moment, and forevermore. Amen. I tell you what I did do this afternoon. I built a model of Mount Everest. Someone said to me, is it to scale? I said, no, it's just to look at. Bye-bye.